All right, well, Elon Musk caused a pretty big ruckus today, and yes, it did happen on Twitter. While many of us were sleeping, Musk tweeted, quote, "Twitter deal temporarily on hold, pending details supporting calculation that spam/fake accounts do indeed represent less than 5% of users." That was the tweet. Well, Musk's tweet caused Twitter stock to drop 10% almost immediately, and then, as if he hadn't said it, 2 hours later, he tweeted again saying, "Still committed to the acquisition." Everybody's buzzing. Perhaps he realized just how much he devalued the company that he's trying to buy. Elon Musk, who is known as the brains behind the electric car company, now the new king of Twitter, some say, replacing former President Trump. Everybody was hanging on to his tweet, as they are now with Elon Musk's tweet. He tweeted 4 days ago, "Chocolate milk is insanely good. Just had some." We're reading into everything now. Joining me now, host of the nationally syndicated radio program Eat, Drink, Smoke, is Tony Katz. Tony, happy Friday to you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, and chocolate milk is delicious. I can confirm.
I concur as well. So why Musk? Do we need a Twitter lightning rod now that the former president is not on Twitter?
No, it's just people like what they like. They like having something to rally about, something to yell about, something to scream about. So there's nothing new there. But Twitter is the lightning rod, and Musk buying Twitter has been an unbelievable conversation about what is free speech, what's the value of an open platform that allows people to engage, that doesn't throttle people back. We've already seen that indeed Twitter was throttling conservatives. It was shadow banning conservatives. And this we knew it, and now we have the facts. As we saw when Musk made the announcement, we saw all of a sudden conservatives get a lot more followers overnight. Like it was magic. It wasn't magic. It was whatever they were doing, they stopped doing. But if you were to ask me whether or not this move from Elon Musk about, asking about the average daily user, right? Twitter said in their Q2 filings, I think it was that 5% of their user base were the spam, were the bots, like they weren't real accounts. So now if there's a question of whether or not it's higher and they didn't do a proper filing, right, this could all be a way to try and lower the purchase price, or it could be a serious thing and nobody knows.
What is it about Musk, though, that has people so interested? I mean, he's a bizarre character. He's a billionaire with tons of money. I mean, we know all we need to know about him. But like, why are people so drawn to him? I mean, what is it about this guy and what he's saying that has 92 million people following every word?
It's that he's not saying the things that normally you hear from billionaires or from people who are in the accepted class, right? He's talking about the importance of an open system, of being able to share and communicate. When Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post, it was, Jeff Bezos is buying the Washington Post. And then the Washington Post wants to tell you that Musk buying Twitter is the biggest affront to democracy the world has ever seen. It's the idea that he's going to allow people like me, people like you, people who are watching this show right now to engage in open conversation. We have seen that there are many, many people in elected office, in high cultural positions, who don't want that. They don't want you to be able to speak freely. They want you to speak the accepted nomenclature, the accepted conversations. And Elon Musk isn't buying into that, at least from what we've seen. And that's one of the reasons he gets all the attention.
And maybe this was just a strategic business move, right? The one tweet possible. And then 2 hours later, and boom, the stock's going to be back up, and he's got a great company. All right,
and
Tony,
there could be a tweet about Dogecoin tonight. You never know.
I'll be watching. Do you have a dog, Tony?
I do not.
No, okay. We're still going to have you weigh in on this next topic because it caught our attention. A Chicago suburb is doing something that we haven't seen done anywhere else. They are coming down on pet owners whose dogs are incessantly barking. So this is a sort of a noise ordinance. It is now illegal for a dog to make, quote, excessive noise during certain times of day. So barking is prohibited for 15 consecutive minutes from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So that's pretty much the entire day. And if it happens folks will get a noise complaint. And then if your dog is loud for 10 straight minutes on day 2, well, you're busted, just like Mocha Minato, who is the dog of our executive producer, Justin. She is interrupting our Zoom calls constantly every day, so we put her in doggy jail. Busting people for incessant dog barking, where do you stand on this?
Look, I am not the kind of guy who goes around saying, no, there ought to be a law. But on this, I'm so damn thrilled. The people who allow their dogs out to bark all day are the worst people ever. They should be tried at The Hague.
Justin?
They are miserable, awful, terrible, lousy people.
Oh, my goodness.
You bought the dog. You deal with the dog. I don't want to hear it. I want to enjoy my backyard. I want to smoke a cigar. I want to relax. I've got your dog barking at me. If I wanted a dog to bark at me, I would get a dog. This is fantastic. And I'm a guy who hates more legislation. But these pet owners who believe that their pet is special, so special, they'll leave it outside for 7 hours and not pay attention to it, they should have to deal with the consequences of their actions.
Well, it's been nice knowing you
Justin
and having you on the show, Tony. But now that you've said this about Justin's dog, I don't know that we're ever going to have you back.
I said it about Justin, not Justin's dog. Put the picture back up. The dog's adorable. Who wouldn't want to look at that? That's beautiful. Justin is the terrible person here. That's what has to be remembered.
All right, Justin, he's listening. There's Mocha right there.
Screen hasn't gone blank.
Do you hear Mocha? All right, Tony.
Oh, there it is.
Have a good weekend. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.